Analytics. I get this question a lot from people when they're looking at their Google Analytics. How can I exclude my own traffic? Therefore, it doesn't manipulate the data and it appears off. So we're going to go over that today. We're going to go over this as an SOP, and I'm going to show you actually how to do it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
It's easy to see when you look at me.
So if you haven't already done it, you want to go over to freesops.com, freesops.com. Therefore, you can get all my SOPs. I have over 200 SOPs. Right now, you get a 30-day trial. You can go in there, test it out, see if you like it. I got SOPs that will help you run your digital agency. Everything from hiring VAs, firing VAs, team meetings, SEO, setting up Rank Math, Yoast, LinkedIn, everything, lead generation, anything possible you need to run a successful digital agency, it's in this SOP system. So you want to go ahead and go sign up. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in and show you how to separate, if you will, your traffic from Google Analytics so your data is correct. So we need to exclude our own traffic from Google Analytics. I get this question a lot from new agency owners, freelancers, want to know how to do it, even business owners, because they don't have a clue on how to do it and no one's ever taught them. So in this video, we're going to go over and we're going to show you exactly how to do it. So the goal of this is to take you through the process of excluding that traffic that's generated by you or your employees, so it's not recorded, so your metrics in Google Analytics won't be affected by it, and you'll have accurate data. For you to carry out this process, you simply need to have Google Analytics set up on your website and configured. Right, so after that, why do we want to do this? We want to do this because if we don't have this done, we're going to have incorrect data and we're not going to have right metrics and the data is not going to be accurate, and we want it to be accurate, right? So how do we check if our traffic is being recorded by Google Analytics? Before you can carry out this process, the tag extension assistant of Google Chrome must be installed on your browser. So if you already don't have it, you need to go get the Google Chrome extension. Go get the Google Chrome extension and install it. For the sake of this video, we do not have it already installed. We want to get the tag assistant legacy by Google, and all you got to do is click add to Chrome. It's going to add it to Chrome. Once we have that, we can record an instance so it knows where the traffic's coming from, so we can exclude our traffic from our Google Analytics. Because if you do not, your Google Analytics data will be jacked up. Clients won't be happy because they'll be like, why is it showing all this traffic? And in fact, we know we haven't had this traffic. So you want to always make sure that that traffic's excluded. So you're going to simply click on the bar right next to us, the tag assistant extension. You're going to click record. After you click record, you're going to refresh that page. After you stop the recording, click Show Full Report. The page will take you to the Google Tag Assistant report. All right, it's going to take you to the Google Tag Assistant report, which is what it's doing right now. At the top by the right-hand side, you'll see Google Analytics report, and you're going to click on that. After you record it, if you receive anything that says no hits, no recording, that simply means no recording of your traffic's been done. It can be done for multiple reasons. It could be IP, it could be privacy extension, Google opt-out extension, and ad blocker. There can be multiple reasons why this is happening, okay? The goal of this guide is to teach you how to exclude your own traffic so you can stop the crap. You can test it at this stage. At this stage, we're simply testing it to say, okay, is it recording my traffic? Is it putting my traffic in there so I can exclude it, right? We want to see, it's going to send a hit, make sure it records it, does it record it or not. During this time, the whole time, we're wanting to test this and make sure. If you want to have multiple views configured in Google Analytics, you choose the views that you want analyzed, etc. Okay, let's get this completely set up. Make sure it's where it's supposed to be, right? Make sure the locations are figured. We want to change the locations. Important you select Universal Analytics Property to make sure it's selected. Change the location. Click Use Externally Visible IP Address and hit Update. At that time of the test, if you're not in your office or connected to your network, it is necessary that you find out the IP address, right? Without that IP address, you want to know if it's static or not. Your network IP address is static. If it's not static, it won't be a long-term solution if you choose to exclude it from Google Analytics. You will also need to ask your external IP address, okay? Now, we're going to do a beta test. We're going to do a speed test. We're doing this, checking it, connect to the local, if you will, network of our office. We're going to put a call across to our ISP to know the IP address of our network to find out if it's static. It's mandatory that you're going to do this. The page is going to be refreshed. Once it does, you'll be redirected to Google Analytics. The information about each hit was processed will be displayed. At one hit is going to be recorded. Hit captured without modifications, messages, etc. Right? Now that we've done this, we're going to carry on. Right? We've already found out the IP address. We've already done all the stuff that we need to do. Right now, I'm working on completing this. I'm going to send out telling everybody in an email, hey, listen, if you got any of these stupid Chrome extensions blocking this traffic, we need to handle this. You know, I'm asking them basically to install a Chrome extension so I make sure their traffic is not tracked, right? We want to make sure the Google Analytics opt-out add-on. It is an add, and I'm explaining to them, and I got to make sure. A better way is to go by everybody's computer and make sure it's done. Send out a company-wide note and tell them, hey, listen, I need this installed. Here's why it needs to install. Because I don't want Google tracking your information. This is very important that your client or the company make sure this is done. Otherwise, our data is going to be not correct, and it's going to be manipulated, and it's not going to be good for measuring metrics. We want to be able to measure the metrics because without this, then your data is incorrect, okay? So we get that, put in the link. Hopefully they're going to install it. That way we know the traffic is not being tracked and it is excluded from everything else, okay? We're almost done here. I'm going to make sure they do this. I'm going to highlight it, make sure it's very important, get this done. And just because you send an email, don't think your company people, your employees are going to do it. Because half the time, they will not do it. So you need to make sure they do it. If you have to have multiple phone calls with a business owner, make sure you have multiple phone calls with a business owner and get this taken care of. Because otherwise, your traffic is not going to be good. It's available for Google Chrome, Apple, Safari, everything they use. There's no excuses as to why not to use this to block traffic to a specific website. Okay? So we're going to get this all wrapped up. Almost done. So we're installing it across all devices, all browsers. We don't want anything left out. And we're telling them, thank you so much. Make sure it's done. We're going to verify that it's done on a later date. Now, we're going to grab the IP address. We're going to go back to analytics. Waiting for it to load. You know, a lot of marketers don't even know these basics. A lot of SEOs don't even know these basics. We'll go to all the data. We want to check the data. This is just a staging website. We want to check the property. We'll make sure it's right. You always want to make sure you're on the right property. Otherwise, you'll be looking at a property thinking, why isn't it excluding it? And I'm going to go to the filter. Is it filtering it? I'm going to click Add Filter. I'm going to define this. I'm going to name the filter. Once I name the filter, I just want to name it that way I know what I'm doing here. I'm going to make it, you can either predefine it or customize it, right? In one more second, almost done with this. Want to exclude what traffic, include it or exclude it. We want to exclude it from certain destinations, from certain IP addresses. So this is where we're going to be entering in the IP addresses to exclude it from tracking. Okay, this is just a sample IP filter. So we're going to name it sample IP filter from a specific IP address. And this is where we do it. Specific ISP, all that. Select the expression, they're equal to. And we're going to put the ISP domain. This is where we put it in. We put it in right here. Almost done. There we go. We're done with that. That's good. The filter's good. make sure everything's correct. We're good to go. Case sensitive, yes or no. Most of the time it doesn't matter. And you can verify this filter, then you hit save. Now you'll see the filter there. We got the filter there, we're good. Add another filter if you want to add another filter. Right? We're going to add another filter. This is sample custom filter. It's going to be, for an IP address filter, not just the ISP address. So we're going to put the IP address in here now. Right? So we wanted to get the IP address. We want to get the ISP address. We get all that entered in. Right? Select the field, the filter field. It can't be left empty. If it's left empty, it's not going to save it. Every time you'll get this. This value must not be empty. If I can't say it enough, the value cannot be empty, right? You got to enter it in. You got to enter in the campaign information. That way, nothing is tracked, right? Select that, exclude it. Almost done here. We're almost done. IP, there we go. IP address. We put in our website, right? We're going to hit save. Now you see both the IP and ISP filter there. So it's filtering out all that traffic from that IP and that ISP address. Once you're done with that, now I know that the data is going to be accurate. Up until this point, we didn't know if it's accurate or not. So let's go over those steps one last time. You need to make sure, first off, Tag Assistant extension from Google Chrome is installed. Then we're going to enter in the website URL in the browser. Click the Tag Chrome extension next to it. Click record. After you've recorded, refresh the page. Hit the icon Tag Assistant. Hit stop recording. Once you've stopped recording, show full report. At the top right hand side, you're going to see Google Analytics report. Click on that, right? You want to note, after recording process, if you receive a note just saying it's not recording, it could be multiple factors, multiple different plugins like ad blocker or Google App Out extension. You want to make sure. We want to make sure the goal of this is to keep sure all the crap is cut out. We're not recording our own traffic or our own employees and traffic. All right, next step, we want to make sure we have multiple views configured in Google Analytics. All right, choose Analyze OK. If it is important that you select Universal Analytics Property, right? You want to change the location and you want to find out what is the visible IP address. So you got to find out what's your internet service provider and the IP address. Once you have that information, right, you can get that through going through the speed test, and that's one of the steps in which we can find it. But once you find it, you can then enter in that information into your Google Analytics report and exclude it. You can exclude specific devices, right? We can download and install this extension. We can also do all this, and we can extend and exclude our IP address and the ISP address. That is the goal of all of this. You want to exclude your network. This is the procedure. Same procedure as we went through in the video. First step, find out what is the IP address. We want to exclude the IP and the ISP address. That way our Google Analytics data is correct. Right? Once we have that information, go over to the admin panel of your Google Analytics. Make sure you got the correct account, the property. Right? Once you do that, now we can then filter and staging views. Add a filter for the IP and add it for the ISP. Once we're done with that, we are complete. We're done. Now, I know this tutorial was a mouthful. There's a lot of steps when you're wanting to exclude your traffic from your IP and ISP address. Maybe you didn't catch it all. You're going to have to watch this video a couple of times. We went through every single step. If you have to, pause the video, write the steps down. Better yet, if you don't have the SOP system, go over to freesops.com and get the free SOP system. You got free 30 days after 30 days. If you don't want it, I think you're crazy if you don't. But if you don't want it, then all you do is cancel the subscription. But in the first 30 days, you can test it out and try it out. Also in there is a step-by-step PDF. All right, you have a step-by-step Word document, and you have the slideshow. And on top of that, You also have a free ebook so you can have it handy and give it over to your virtual assistant. Until next time, you be blessed and have a great day.
I have so many SEOs that hate me and say that I'm stealing their methods. They bitching and cry, labeling me SEO Black Hat. Was a nobody, now I'm at the top. Most wanted, most loved, bad business owners, and hated by most SEO opponents. You think you're an SEO god, but you're an SEO fraud. Guess I'm the SEO devil, shouting fuck the SEO guys. White hat SEO doesn't make sense, going with the goody goodies. Up in heaven dressed in white, I like black Timbs, I like black hoodies.